So this TV has many of the main features of the top OLEDs out there without the extortionate price. It's the Panasonic MZ800. It's a 4K OLED TV. Let's take a closer look. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So my friends, this is my first look at a Panasonic OLED. And thanks to the team at Panasonic for sponsoring this video and sending this across for me to review. They've not asked me to say anything good or bad about it and have no editorial influence. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed taking this out of the box is that it's quite heavy. So I have the 55-inch version which weighs 22 kilos. As a comparison, my LG C355 weighs just 14 kilos. And I've not included the stand in those weights. However, I do really like the stand, it's very heavy. There's these two odd things which I'll come on to later, and in the box you also get all of the paraphernalia you need, as well as the power cable and a remote control, and it's a great remote control. Now, I've had many Panasonic TVs in the past, and I do think they're amongst the best remote controls that you can get. Assembling the stand is super simple. All you need is 4 screws to put the base plate together, and then hook that into the TV, and 4 more screws will tighten it up. Now, this has to probably be the most rigid, firm, and not wobbly TV that I've ever seen. It is built like an absolute brick, and that's not a bad thing. Now when it comes to HDMI ports, there's 3, 1 rear facing and 2 side facing, but I'll talk more about these a little bit later on. Those foam pads, by the way, well, that's just a nice little touch to help you lift your TV into position. Now it's time for my favourite bit, taking the plastic off, which many TVs don't have anymore. I don't know whether you're like me, but there's something just so satisfying about doing that. Okay, so we've now got it set up and ready to go. This is it from its side profile. So as you can see, similar to many at the moment, it's got a very thin top and then it widens out at the bottom. But the picture quality was impressive right out of the box without making any changes. There does seem to be some type of anti-reflective coating on the screen, and this is opposite a window, and as you can see, it's not too bad. Now the first thing that I do with any TV is run my motion handling test, my dirty screen effect test, and also test the brightness. And I didn't see any noticeable issues with this. If you are seeing any blooming at all, by the way, that's the camera, not the TV. You don't see anything in reality. On the plain screen test, the panel was crystal clear, there were no dark corners, and there were no marks on the screen. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that this is obviously an entry-level OLED, so it's not going to get to the same brightness levels as OLEDs with heatsinks and some of the latest, far more expensive ones. However, I did get a nit reading of just under 600, late 500s, and that's about what you would expect. Now, as this is an OLED with self-lit pixels, viewing angles are traditionally better than on LCD panels, and that's no different on this model. It's very bright and even at the most extreme angle. When it comes to gaming, there is a dedicated game mode within the picture settings. You just need to go down and activate it, and then that will reduce the latency. Okay, in gaming there are a few things that you need to be aware of. This does have support for some of the features of HDMI 2.1. It will support auto low latency mode, but it doesn't support 4K at 120Hz, and it doesn't support variable refresh rate. The TV runs Android-based Google TV, and it's got absolutely everything in here that you would want. It's really simple to use and operate, and it is becoming my favourite operating platform. Out of the box, there are many different picture modes which are preset. There's standard and vivid, there's also sport and movie, and finally there's that game mode. But if you do want to change the picture, then you can really do this to your heart's content, because Panasonic TVs have traditionally always had a great menu system. And that's also the case for sound also. With a 2.1 system, you have a built-in subwoofer and 2 speakers. It means that you can choose to have that surround mode, and you can go into Dolby audio processing, and here you can choose sound user mode and change it from game, movie, music, news, stadium, smart, or user. And if you want to hook this up to a soundbar or a surround system, you can use the HDMI eARC. Another feature for this software is using Google Assistant with the remote. Show me Christmas movies. You can ask Google Assistant to either open applications or show you different types of movies, for instance, but the whole process works seamlessly. One thing that's really impressive with this TV is that at this price point it supports Dolby Vision, and that is very rare. It also supports HDR10+ and HLG, so that you're getting the best picture performance. And also having the support for Dolby Atmos for sound, and with the built-in subwoofer, you do get good sound on this TV. Again, it's a nice feature. But I'm really also impressed with the upscaling capability of just normal TV, and that's what you're looking at now. It delivers a crisp, vibrant image with really natural colours, and it is really impressive for how much you're paying. So who's this TV for? Well, I'm going to cover some of the specs again in just a second, but I believe that this is for somebody that wants to get an OLED TV maybe for the first time, but doesn't necessarily want to spend or have the budget for those really expensive ones. You're still going to have the same benefit of the infinite contrast, those perfect blacks, and the great colours and brilliant viewing angles, plus all of the other features that are built into this TV. Having those extra gaming features is a real advantage, and also that Google Assistant with everything you can do with that. Okay, so let's just recap now on some of those specs. So this comes in 42-inch, 48-inch, 55-inch and 65-inch versions. It's a 4K OLED Ultra HD, and it has Dolby Vision, HDR10 Plus and HLG support. For sound, there's Dolby Atmos, and the sound is delivered by two 10-watt speakers and a 12-watt built-in subwoofer. You can Chromecast from this because it has Chromecast built in, so you can get your phone up on the screen if you've got a compatible device. And also it has Bluetooth audio out, again with compatible headphones or speakers. Game mode with auto low latency mode is a real advantage, and if you want to not have this on that heavy stand, then you can use the Visa mount to hang it on a wall. But the perfect blacks and the infinite contrast on this machine is really why you go OLED. So my friends, if you're in the market for a new TV and you didn't think that you could afford an OLED TV, especially with all of these features built in, well, that's just changed. Be sure to check out the Panasonic MZ800. There's a link in the description. Thanks so much for watching this video, my friends. I look forward to seeing you on the next.